Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel for the next video. In this video, we'll see the queue data structure, which is a linear data structure where the elements are inserted and deleted from two different ends. Now you can see that definition of the queue is a linear data structure which allows the first come first serve principle. First come first serve means the element which will be inserted first will be deleted first. It has two pointers, front and rear. Front means the element from where it will be deleted, and the rear means the elements from where it will be added to the queue. You can see in the example here, deletion from this side and insertion from another side. So element which comes first will be deleted first. Okay. Now you can see that again that there are two operations in that queue. One is NQ and one is DQ operation. NQ means insertion and DQ means deletion of the element. And the NQ always takes place from the rear side, and this DQ operation always takes place on the front side. So NQ is known as adding the element into the queue, and DQ means removing an element from the queue. Now you can see that definition in broad. It is a special type of data structure where elements are inserted from one end and deleted from another end. The end from elements are inserted is called as rear end, and the end from where the elements are deleted is called as front end. Now you can see here in the array part, this is front and this is rear, right? So if you want to insert any new element will be added to the next part, that is rear plus 1 here. And if you want to delete the element, as per the definition, element will always be deleted from the first step. So that is what this is called as front, right? So it will be deleted from the front side, and insertion will take place always from the rear side. So it is a that queue having a size of 6 with currently 3 elements here, and it is called as first in first out data structure. Now in the same example, in the previous you can see that there are 3 elements, right? If you want to perform the operations for the new elements, okay, so you can see here I'm inserting the new element as 50 here, right? So how it will be added in the queue? The next element will be added at the next rear place. So next rear place is what? Earlier it was 2, now it will be 2 plus 1, that is 3. So it will be added where? At this third place, right? So that front position will be here at 0 and the rear will be at 3. If you want to delete the element from the queue, okay, so always the element which will be deleted are from the front side, right? So here that 10 will be deleted here. So at 0th place 10 is there. Now front will be added to the next position. So here front will be 1. So 0 plus 1 will become 1. Okay. So every insertion rear will added one position ahead, and after every deletion front moves one position ahead. So in this case rear and front both will be increased by 1 at each and every position. Okay. Now you can see the operations on the queue. So first operation is insertion operation here. Step number 1, if rear equal to max minus 1, right? So max minus 1 means, for example, this is called as 0, right? So here in this example you can say that 0 to 5, right? So max minus 1, that is maximum value is what? Up to that, for example, that the number of elements are here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And if it is max minus 1, then the element will be added till 5. That means the condition will become overflow here. So rear equal to max minus 1, then the you will write that condition is overflow. Then we'll go to step number 4, right? That means we'll exit and we cannot insert any new element. In other cases, if the front equal to minus 1 and the rear equal to minus 1, that means if there is no any element in the queue. So what we'll do, we can set the front and rear position as 0 or you can say front equal to -1, so -1 plus 1 will become 0, and rear equal to -1 plus 1 becomes 0. So that means at this time we can insert the new element in the queue, or another scenario, we will set the position of rear equal to rear plus 1 always, right? So you can, here you can see that scenario, if number of elements are 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. If you want to add any new element, so rear plus 1 will become at the 4th position, right? So every time that rear will be added by plus 1 position, and then we'll set the position of Q at the rear, and then finally we'll exit. So this is the insertion algorithm where the elements are inserted in the queue. Now you can see the example here. Right here, A0, A1, A2, A3 and A4, initially that elements are at the -1 position, right? So F key value, F and R both are -1, so front and rear both are -1. So initially there is no element in the queue, right? So we can insert the element by pushing +1 values here. Now it will become that -1 plus 1 is equal to 0. So when that F equal to 0 and R equal to 0, then again it will be added. So that means the value will be added to the queue at the 0 position. If front equal to 0 and rear equal to 1, in this case also we can insert the new element. Why? Because if you want to add the new element, that it will be added at the plus 1 rear position. So here the rear equal to 1, so it will be added by at the second position. So rear equal to rear plus 1, it will become 2. So this is the scenario how the insertion takes place in the queue. Now the next operation is deletion of the element from the queue. So you have to see that if front equal to -1, that means there is no any element in the queue, because deletion takes place only if the elements are in the queue, or front is greater than rear. That means if the next position equal to front and the previous position is the rear, in that case the deletion is not possible. So what we'll do, we'll write that condition is underflow. Otherwise we'll always increase the position of the front by +1 for deleting the element from the queue, and then we'll exit. So you can see this step number 1 here, front equal to -1 or front is greater than rear, right? The condition is underflow, else we will set the position at the queue for the front, and then we'll increase the position of the front by +1, and then we'll exit from the queue. You can see here, as we have seen in the first case, front equal to 0 and rear equal to 1. That means there is no any element in the queue, right? Another scenario, if front equal to rear equal to 1 at the same position, so in that case the deletion is not possible in both the cases. Now you can see that how many different types of queue. The first is circular queue, priority queue, D queue and multiple queue. Now first we will see what is circular queue. Circular queue, basically why it is required. Wastage of memory in the standard queue in deletion operation, right? For example, you want to delete this element, again you have to go to the next step, right? So this is the problem with the queue, right? So what we'll do, we'll make it as a circular queue, and then we can delete the elements easily. So what is circular queue? First we will see the arrangement of the elements Q0, Q1 up to Qn in a circular fashion with Q1 following the Qn is called as circular queue. So last element will always follow the first element. This is the main concept behind the circular queue. So the last node is connected to the first node to make a circle. Initially, both front and rear pointers point to the beginning of the array, and this entire process is known as ring buffer. So in that entire case, the condition is that the last element always follow the first element. You can see here it will become a circle, right? So here this is the first zeroth element, then first element 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. But again here the last element always follow the next element. So this is the entire concept behind the circular queue. Now see the operations in the circular queue, right? So first of all you have to see the insertion operation here. Step number 1, front equal to 0 and rear equal to max minus 1. Then we will write overflow. Why? Because both the elements are full. So there is no any space for inserting the new element in the circular queue. If front equal to rear and it is minus 1, that means you have to set the position and it will become 0. So in that case we can insert the new element. Otherwise we will follow the same procedure for inserting the new element at the position rear equal to rear plus 1. And finally after inserting the new element we will set q at the rear position. So that element will be set at the rear position and then will exit from the queue. This you can see here. When you cannot insert the new elements, right here that q7 and that q0, if rear equal to front, right, in that case there is no any space because all the space are full. This condition is known as overflow. Deletion operation, if front equal to minus 1 then write underflow, because for deletion up from that circular queue is always happen when the elements are present in the queue. Otherwise we cannot delete the element from the queue. So this condition will be underflow. Then we'll go to step number 4. So step number 4 means directly will come out from the queue. Otherwise we'll set the position of the queue front, okay, and then we will check the position of the front and rear both. So front equal to rear equal to minus 1. Otherwise what we'll do, we'll decrease the front position by minus 1 and then we can delete the element from the queue. Otherwise in other cases you have to just set the front position by plus 1. So always whenever you delete the element from the front this queue, you have to set the position of the front by plus 1 and finally we'll exit from the queue. You can see here initially if you don't have any element, right, so that position of the front and rear equal to minus 1. So there is no any such cases where you can delete the element from the particular queue, right? Either in other cases also, that if it is full, that the last element and the first element, it both are full, again we cannot delete the element from the queue. Now the next one is priority queue. This is another type of queue, priority queue. In priority queue each element is assigned a priority. Priority determines the order in which the elements will be processed. So what are the different rules of this priority queue? An element with higher priority will processed before an element with a lower priority. Or two elements with the same priority are processed on first come first serve basis. We can give you another example. For example, you are standing in a queue of, maybe that college students are standing in a queue to take the vada pav, and after some time their professor comes to purchase the vada pav. So what the student do? They have to give the priority to their faculty. So ultimately they will come back and the faculty will go at the first position. So this is called as priority because there is no any calculation directly. You should know that to whom you have to give the priority. So this is called as, this is one of the example for giving the priority. Okay, so this is what. And if in some cases if two professors are standing, right, if the third one is coming, so they have to decide because they are having the equal priority, they are having the equal value, but they have to decide. That means it works on the basis of first come and the first serve basis. Types of priority queue. Ascending priority queue. In this type of priority queue, elements can be inserted into any order, but only the smallest element can be removed first. Descending order. In this type of priority queue, elements can be inserted into any order, but only the largest element can be removed. So in both the cases you have to check as per the priority of the ascending order and the descending order. Different operations of that priority queue. Insertion operation. While inserting element in the priority queue, we will add it at the appropriate position depending on its priority. Because again I am saying that there is no calculation, you have to set the position of the element as per the priority. It is inserted in such a way that the elements are always ordered either in ascending or descending sequence. So you have to check the sequence of the elements, whether it is ascending or descending, and then accordingly you have to set the priority. You can see the array representation of the priority queue here. Front value and the rear value. So whenever you want to insert the value, right? So 15 and 10, these are the two elements already present in the queue. Now 20, 15 and 10. The question is, what is the priority of this particular element? So you have to just set, because if you are doing in the descending order, then 10 will be in the last, right? So here 20, 15 and 10. So it will become the next priority because you are inserting the next element, that is 20. So 20 will be at the first position. Why? Because if you are putting at the in the descending order, so then 10 will be the last element. Next element, if you want to do, again you have to see that the next element is, for example, here 25, 15, 13 and 10. So the next element will be here 25 will be added at the first position, right? And maybe in between, if you are adding any new element, that is 13, so it will be added according to their priority. If it is greater than 15 but it is smaller than 10, so accordingly it will be added and it will be inserted in the priority queue. Deletion operation. While deleting the elements at the front side, the element will always be deleted from the front position. You can see here with the array representation 20, 15, 13 and 10. So front value is 20 and the rear value is 10 here. If you want to delete from the priority queue, it will always be deleted from the front side. So for the first element is 20, so that will be deleted first. Now the front position will become A1, that is 15. Now if you want to delete another element, so again it will be deleted from the another front position. So front element is again here A1, that is what? That is 15. So the next element will be deleted as from the A1 place. So 15 will be deleted. So here the remaining elements are 13 and 10. Different applications which we can use in the data structure for queue. It's serving a request on the single shared resource like a printer, CPU, task scheduling, right? In real life scenarios, call center phone systems uses queue to hold people calling them in order until a service representative is free. Because whenever you're calling, you will get the answer that they are in the they are busy, so be in the queue, be in that sequence. So one by one they will attend the phone call. Handling of the interrupts in the real-time systems. The interrupts are handled in the same order as they arrive in, that is first come on and the first services. In the same way, whenever you go to submit your light bill, so the people are standing in the queue. That means the people who comes first, they will be standing in the at the first position. The people who come at the last, they will be standing at the last position. Same thing whenever you go to the bus stop. So if the people are standing in the queue, so that means the people who have come first, they will catch the bus first. So they will be standing at the first position for catching the bus. Okay, so this is all about your queue. Thank you.